Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. From the Daily Mail, Washington, D.C. police cancel all leave for next week over Ottawa-inspired Freedom Convoy that is heading towards the Capitol. Yeah. I give him the long applause. Breaker 19, we got ourselves a convoy. Now, you younger people won't know what that means. That's the old CB days from the 1970s, early 80s, from a comedy movie called The Convoy, I believe it was. And it was Breaker 19, and my understanding is Breaker 19 is still a truckers channel. But I'm showing my age now. This is awesome. This is absolutely awesome. And I'll tell you why. Look how Canada's government's responding. They are scared to death. They don't know what to do. Trudeau has decided he's going to swat a fly with a sledgehammer. I mean, he completely overreacted. They're supposed to be the cordial, polite, reasonable Canadians. He hasn't even sat down with any of the leaders yet. Now, here's the weird part. They say they're following the science. Technically, they are. It's political science. Now, right after this thing is broken up, at least physically, not politically or spiritually, or it won't leave the minds of the people, because this is a bigger deal in Canada than it is here, he's already lost. The truckers didn't have to win. They just didn't have to lose. And they did exactly what they would do to make him overreact. He's a spoiled, rotten brat that lives in a bubble, that thinks the world is flat, and everybody else is beneath him except for the small few on the top. And that is the reality. Does that sound familiar to you? Leaders in Canada, leaders in the U.S., and around the world, especially in Europe, have lost touch with the average person. Let's read on. Washington, D.C. police have nixed officers' leave over the next week to prepare for the caravan. According to the insiders, the department is currently mobilizing 100 of its officers to spearhead a large response plan. I'm not going to read every word here, but we get the idea. Next week, according to the outlet, forces of 500 officers each day would be formed to comprise civil disturbance units. Now, isn't that funny? Isn't that interesting? They get all this police protection and all these police officers all of a sudden come out of the woodwork. But where were the civil disturbance units when BLM and Antifa were terrorizing major cities all across the country for almost all of 2020? What did we get? We got this. Not only did we get crickets, we had our leaders, and at the time candidate Kamala Harris, now vice president, was informing people and encouraging them, and she herself even gave, and a lot of her staff, to a fund to help protesters. Now, were they mostly peaceful? Technically, yeah. But these mostly peaceful protesters were a screen. They knew that the violent protesters, the ones that were destroying businesses, buildings, were mingled amongst them. You don't see that in Canada because they wouldn't put up with it. And they can say, we peacefully protested, then they let their useful idiots burn down buildings, destroy lives. And the vast majority, by the way, in a lot of these cities were minority-owned businesses. But I digress. They encourage them to get money. Now, in Canada, see, it depends. You can have a peaceful protest. It just depends what side of the ideology you're on. Let's read on. Canada protests have remained largely peaceful with Liberal Prime Minister, that's being kind, blasts as an authoritarian for his attempt to stomp out the protests. He's doing the exact same things progressives do here. We're not going to negotiate with people that carry around swastikas and Confederate flags. There was one swastika flag. The guy was run out of the group, and I saw the video of the guy with a Confederate flag. He was shamed into leaving because they knew he was a plant that caused trouble. Reports say they found caches of guns that were supposedly going to be smuggled in to the protesters to make them look bad by the police. The group called Convoy to D.C. 2022, Breaker 19, we got a convoy. serves as a forum for truckers to plan and coordinate. That's the thing. These guys have to know now that the NSA, CIA, all kinds of law enforcement are monitoring all social media and their bank accounts. How are you going to be able to get resources, i.e. money, to these truckers? You're going to have a central source? Are they going to do what they did in Canada, where they started freezing accounts? I don't think that will fly here. Now, you can have places like GoFundMe, since they're technically a private company, say, we're not taking money. Now, we'll take money from terrorists. We have the Ayatollah in Iran you can do transfers of money through. All kinds of protesters and BLM and Antifa can raise all the money they want to, but you're on the wrong side of the ideology line. So we can say, no, well, that makes the masses, but technically they have it right. Now, this other one, this Send Go fund, was grabbed by Canada. Now, they're an American company, but they can seize bank accounts in Canada. I don't know if they can legally, but they're doing it. Convoy is set to take off from California on March 1st, the Post declared. Now, you're going to see them slowly march across the country, or drive, so to speak, and we're going to see how this works out. I hope these guys have all their ducks in a row, especially the money. Get your flags, posters, cameras, and worn clothes ready. Another Facebook group created ahead of the plan, a caravan called Freedom Convoy DC 2022 Logistics, posted February 6th, warning prospective revelers of the dangers they might face during the protest. Please understand this massive undertaking, ensuring many things such as fuel, food, where to park, mechanics, etc. from all over the country. And there's the Facebook page, which I'm surprised is still there. As of this video, they're still up. Please plan ahead. Prepare your food pantries, water, gas, and other needs. These truckers are going to be tied up and they want to be prepared. Now, what they're saying is, if there's shortages in all the media and their allies in the progressive movement say, we're out of this, we're out of that because of the truckers, they're saying stock up now. They're trying to warn people ahead of time just in case. Dates are finalized, press release coming soon. And like I said, I won't read every word here. I'll scroll through here. You can get an idea. Giving you time to prepare your food, water, and fuel resources. They do not want you to think they're attacking the people. They aren't. And that's true. The revelation in regard to the planned protest comes as police in Canada continue to arrest Freedom Convoy truckers. Now, I heard from unconfirmed sources they're basically taking a lot they arrested, driving them 10, 15 miles outside of town, just dropping them off in the middle of nowhere because they know they can't hold them. It's they paralyzed Ottawa, which is their capital, and Washington, D.C., of course, is ours. And then Trudeau suspended Parliament in Friday's debate under the emergency powers that he says he supposedly has, sparing the Liberal leader another day of uncomfortable speeches. As dawn broke on Friday, cops carrying automatic weapons and wearing tactical uniforms. There's tons of videos on YouTube showing us horses ran over this lady that had a walker. It's shameful. It's shameful under normal circumstances, but it's especially shameful if you're Canadian. And we're going to just breeze through here. You know, here's a guy getting arrested. Here's some here. I mean, they had a bouncy house, for Pete's sake. But they're all Nazis, and they're all racists, and they're all just horrible people. These guys are putting their entire livelihoods on the line. Those trucks are worth more than most people's houses, okay? How would you like to put your house up for grabs to stand up for what you believe in? Well, not many people would, so I have to give them that. And eventually he's going to, and here it is from the House of Commons. Police operation, House will not sit on Friday. As per Parliamentary Protective Services' most recent email notification, a police operation is underway in Ottawa. So they're saying because of their safety, we're closing down Parliament for the day. And of course, they won't go back in session at the earliest till Monday. And then they list secured area, road closed, open with limited access. It's all a scam. And like I said, I'll breeze through the rest of this. They made it clear on Thursday they're preparing to end the protest and remove more than 300 trucks, with Ottawa's interim police chief warning action is imminent. And I'll go through a couple more pictures here, but you get the idea. The fact of the matter is this. They have this supposedly emergency law. And what that law does, a lot of the tow truck operators were not, I repeat, not towing away trucks. So under this so-called law in Canada, they can make private businesses tow those trucks against their will. And if they don't, they'll be fined or have their equipment confiscated for not cooperating with authorities, even though they have any part to do at all with the protest. And many of them had cardboard and paper covered over the name of their company because they didn't want retaliation. They're forced to under the law. Unbelievable. That's what authoritarian regimes do all around the world. And this is Canada, for Christ's sake. So we're going to see what happens as these things starts to roll. March 1st is coming up, and the midterms are coming up. This is going to be a hell of a year, I'll tell you. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.